Alright everybody, how you doing? It's Mike from Luminlights right here, and this is our brand new Tri-LED with remote control built in. Now you may know our regular Tri-Par par can. It's a wired par can. It's plugged in. It's not one of our wireless battery units. We do have battery units with the remote control as well, but this is the wired version. We're featuring our 9 Tri-LED bulbs, 3 colors per bulb, red, green, blue, 1 watt per color. We have our brand new remote right here, and we're going to take you through the functions and use of this with our light. So let's go ahead and plug our light in. Okay. And the light is going to flash once or twice, and it's going to come on to color 1 or whatever it was previously set at. Alright, now there are a few things to know about setting up the remote. In most cases, when you get yours, it's going to be ready to go out of the box, and you'll be able to take your remote like so, set it to, if I want to change the colors here, if you look right here on the remote, you'll see a little button that says CL for color. I'll press that, and then I'll choose a number, say number 1, which is red, 2 is green, 3 is blue, or you can press the plus and minus buttons on the remote. 5, 6, 7. 7 is white, and then back to 1, which is red. We also have other functions on the remote, like auto. Auto mode is where the lights will jump from color to color. A quick jump right there, auto. And there you go, the lights are jumping. Now we can change the speed as well with the remote. There's a little speed button right there in the middle by my thumb. I'm going to hit the speed, and then you can change the speed with the plus or the minus buttons. And the higher you go, the faster it's going to change its speed, until you get to the end, which is approximately value 20. And then we're going to be back to value 1, which is going to be very slow automatic change. Next up, we have on the remote our fade button right there by my thumb again, and we're going to press that to put the light into fade mode. And again, just like with the color jump mode, if you hit the SP or speed button, which is located right here in the middle of the green button, you're going to be able to access the speed of how fast the light fades. But sometimes you may get your light and start aiming your remote and nothing happens. And this is because you may need to sync the remote up with the light. And the way you do that is very easy. The IR remote sensor is right here. And I'm going to turn the light sideways so you can see the LCD display. And if you can see it right now, it's saying fade. Now, if you wanted to sync up your remote with the light, the procedure is hit the menu button until you see ADDR, which is address. Normally you would hit enter and you see A001. You hit your up or down arrow buttons to change the numbers and set your starting address. But we're not doing that. Let's hit the menu button to go back 1 step. By the way, hitting menu button will always take you to the previous step in any menu. So we're back at address. What you're going to do to set the remote is you're going to hold enter. You're going to press and hold it in until it flashes and it says RFRT. Now it's waiting for a signal from the remote. You got to do it pretty fast. Let's do that again. Address, hold, and then you're going to press any button on the remote and aim it at the sensor. Just any old button. And now the sensor and the remote have linked up together. Now when I press something like auto mode, we're back to jumping. If I press color mode and I hit 1, we're back to red. 2 is green, so on and so forth. So that's how you link up your remote to the light. Now there are other buttons on the bottom, R, G, and B. Pressing those, if you look at the back of the menu, basically all that's going to do is allow you to manually set the brightness of your individual color. So you see right now it says R255 because I hit the R button and that put us in manual mode. You can increase or decrease manually the brightness of each color, of the reds, the greens, the blues. Do keep in mind, if you turn your reds down to 0, that turns them off. And if you save that setting by hitting enter once and then once and then twice, hit enter 2 times, it's going to save that setting. So later, if you go into your color mode and you try to go red, it's going to be dark. It's not going to light up because your reds have been turned off. So very important to set your manual colors to full intensity when you get out of adjusting them for a particular shade or color. Now, there's something else to note on here. In case you get the light, you're operating your remote, everything is working fine, you press the color button and all of a sudden the light is just dead. There's no colors. But the auto works and the fade works, and you're wondering, hey, what's going on here? Well, press the menu button until it says NADL. If you could see that, NADL. Hit enter, and it's going to say D. If it's not working on color, it'll say D000. Basically, you got to turn the LEDs on. It's kind of like the manual function, but it's the master dimmer for all of them. So hit 255, hit it once, so it goes back to NADL. Hit enter a second time, so it goes back to D255, and then hit your menu button until you get to address. Press and hold enter until it starts to say RFRT. Hit your remote, aim it at the sensor, and now you are back in remote control mode. Now, if you want to go into DMX mode, we have our dongle box here, our NTEC USB Pro. We're running Freestyler DMX software, and I've already got a signal coming through here, and I've got the light set. Let's set it to a nice cool color. Let's set it to blue, and here we go. There is blue signal coming out of this DMX cable right now, and I'm going to plug it into my light, and if you saw what happened, my light went automatically into DMX mode. Excuse me. The light went automatically into DMX mode, and the light is now blue. Now, if you unplug the DMX cable, the light has now gone back into remote control mode, and we can see that right here by pressing 1 for red, and there we go, the light is back in red. Now, a few more things we'd like to cover. The remote control tripars work exactly like the non-remote control tripars when you're using them in standalone mode, say if you weren't using them with the remote. So let's show you something real quick, because this is actually going to take you out of remote mode. If we turn this around so you can see, I'm going to hit the menu button until I get to, I can use the menu button or the up arrow button until I get to SHND. I'm going to hit enter. First choice is color, sound, auto mode, fade mode, back to color. Let's select color. Okay, so we go to color 4, hit enter once, it goes back to color, hit enter again, and we're on color 4. We're going to leave that for about 12 seconds and let it set itself and store the setting. So now when we turn this back around and we try to use our remote and go auto, nothing's happening. Fades, color, nothing is happening, because we've gotten out of remote control mode. So again, simply, if we want to go back to using our remote, we hit our menu button until it says address, hit and hold enter, wait for it to say RFTR, press any old button, multiple buttons, and aim it at the sensor, and now we are back in control. I'll put it into auto mode. There we go, it's going to jump between colors. We've also got a blackout button here if you want blackout. That turns the light off and back on again. So we also have a sound active mode where you can turn on and off sound active. So let's take our black off and put it into sound mode, and now the light is in sound active mode. So you can switch between modes. You can use the plus or minus arrow buttons to scroll up between values. You use the SP button to change the speed of things like fades and auto jump. Use the CL or color mode button to switch between the different pre-built colors in the light. And finally, going back to our manual mode, say for example you have a nice shade of pink, and let's see if we can find that shade right now, or any other color that we can find. Let's see, let's pick Let's pick it this nice shade of pink. Now we want to make this pink darker to match a bride's shoes. But the preset color is this light pink. Very simply, you would go and hit your menu button until it says SHND, hit enter, then it'll say color, hit enter again. Now it's on color 6, which is our pink, color 7. Then after color 7 it's NANU, which is the manual mode, hit enter. Red, our reds are at 255. Say we want to turn the reds down a little bit to make it a little bit darker, so let's dial them down. Oops, sorry. Let's go back to red. Let's dial them down to 0. No, that's a little too much. Let's put them up to maybe about 150. Okay, hit enter once, hit enter twice. It's flashing. Now wait until it stops flashing, which takes roughly about 12 seconds, and that will save the setting, and that will dim the red LEDs to a value of 154 regardless across the board, whether it's in remote mode, DMX mode, anything. Those LEDs, those red LEDs have now been dimmed to value 154, and they won't go back up to 255 again until you go back into the menu and manually change them. So now let's go into our menu again for color, and let's go to color, it was 6 I believe, and now if you look at color 6, it is a darker shade of pink. It's actually more towards a purple because we've turned our reds down. After the gig is over though, please remember to go back into manual mode, go to your reds, hit enter, and turn them back up to 255 so that the next time you go out, your LEDs are going to match the right colors and be at the right intensity and brightness for you. And that's all there is to it.